is ABC.
News with Dan Rather and Bob Schieffer in Madrid, Bert Quint in Madrid, Marvin Kalb in Salzburg, Austria, David Dick in Houston, Daniel Shore in Washington, Bill Plant in Iowa Falls, Iowa, and Charles Osgood in New York.
Good evening. President Ford is in Madrid for delicate negotiations with General Francisco Franco on the future of U.S. military bases in Spain. There are unconfirmed reports tonight that the United States may have to close one or even two of its air bases, but that it will continue to operate the most important facility, the Polaris submarine base at Rota, near Gibraltar and the gateway to the Mediterranean. That base at Rota is vital because another Polaris submarine facility operated in the area by this country is in the Azores, controlled by Portugal, a country where communists appear to be gaining influence. At least one American air base is expected to continue operating in Spain, whatever happens. Franco is unpopular in Western Europe because he rose to power with the aid of Hitler and Mussolini, but it was obvious today that President Ford considers him a key to Atlantic security. Bob Schieffer reports.
By far the most controversial part of the tour, it was also the most colorful. From the moment that the President and Mrs. Ford stepped off Air Force One to be greeted by the beribboned Franco, the frail, aging 82-year-old general who seized power in 1939 and is still the undisputed ruler here. Mr. Ford is here mainly to convince Franco that he should continue to permit the United States to maintain military bases in Spain, especially in light of the new leftward drift of neighboring Portugal. So he was careful today to praise Spain's contribution to European security.
For more than 20 years, Spain has shared with America and with Europe the burdens of promoting the prosperity and the security of the Atlantic and Mediterranean region. Spain can be proud of that contribution.
Then, with thousands lining the route, there was a colorful motorcade, led by the helmeted horsemen of Franco's personal guard, and including classic and priceless limousines, still maintained for ceremonial occasions. The Fords and the Francos proceeded on to the Generalissimo's palatial estate on the outskirts of Madrid. Mr. Ford decided to risk the criticism of other European allies who have little use for Franco's authoritarian ways and make this trip because of the new importance the United States attaches to its military bases in Spain now. The wind-up of a long day came with an elaborate formal state banquet in the massive dining room of the 2,800-room Royal Palace, built in the 18th century, but now used only for regal affairs such as this one. But despite the pomp, U.S. officials insist the Ford visit should not be taken as an endorsement of Franco's policies.
Most of the European members of NATO said again yesterday in the bluntest terms they want no part of a defense treaty with Spain as long as Franco rules here. But U.S. officials said in background briefings again today that they will continue to press for stronger ties between NATO and Spain in the months to come, and they say the question of full membership for Spain in NATO must soon be faced. Bob Schieffer, CBS News, Madrid.
We're dealing with a breaking story here, and we do not want to leave any misconceptions. There are no confirmed reports anywhere that any of the U.S. military bases in Spain will be closed. That's part of what the negotiations between President Ford and General Franco have been about. There are these unconfirmed reports.
Slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue. I've topped the